Welcome into the Analyst in the Armchair, an NFL podcast where one host is obsessed with stats and spreadsheets, and the other just really loves yelling at the TV on game day and has plenty of opinions. Together, Michelle and Nycole dive into player news, weekly matchups, and all the storylines you'll be talking about with your friends. Whether you're a hardcore or casual football fan, they've got something for you.
Welcome into the Analyst and the Armchair. I'm Michelle. I'm the Analyst part of the show. This is Nycole. She's the Armchair. We have made it through the entire regular season without killing each other.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, we did it. Now, I did win in our game picks throughout the year, but the Analyst is supposed to win, right?
Sure.
I only won by 2 games all year long.
Yeah.
So you know what? You held your own, or maybe I was just terrible. I went 169 to 103. You went 167 to 105. So now Nycole will have to run the 10K with her Aaron Rodgers jersey on,
Which will be horrible. I regret that piece so much. The running is horrible enough, right? But the jersey, why would I do that? Why would I say that?
Because that's the fun part of it.
Why would
I cannot wait to
suggest
film you running in an Aaron Rodgers jersey, because not only is it just embarrassing enough, I'm sorry if you've done this before, but to run in a jersey for a 10K is embarrassing. But then have on Aaron Rodgers, especially if the Texans lose to them this week and you're running it in Houston.
How dare you, first
Yeah.
of all. Just wearing a jersey in and of itself is awful when you're moving physically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that part will suck, but I can't wait to rip it up after I'm done.
Yeah, you can burn it. You can do whatever you want with it.
Oh, in the fire pit. That would be fun.
Yeah. So she will have to do that. I'm very happy. I will not. We got an insane matchup. I mean, we have insane matchups throughout the whole wild card weekend, but the fact that your Texans are going to face off against my Steelers in the wild card round, I mean, we couldn't ask for a better game storyline.
And we
all that.
joked about it happening, but we were both like, well, I don't know. There's a lot that has to happen. And here we are.
Yeah.
So the only sad thing that it's not in Houston, so we can't go because it'd be $1 billion to get to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty pricey to get there right now, but
yeah.
we will be out and about watching it, and we'll see if we have an episode next week, because I don't know if we're going to survive this game. Now, we are going to get into all the games, and almost all of them we have different picks, and this was not by design. It wasn't like we're trying to get cute here. No, like we just have different opinions on most of these games. So a lot of debating will be happening today, but first we'll get into the opening drive where we talk about the latest NFL news where a lot of coaches got fired.
The opening drive.
All right, we had a lot of head coach firings, a lot that made sense. I mean, I fully expected the Cardinals to get rid of Jonathan Gannon, the Raiders, even though it's only been 1 year, to move on from Pete Carroll. And people have differing opinions on that.
Yeah.
I
I was surprised. I'm like, okay, I get it. They were awful. There was a lot going wrong over there. But after 1 year, I was surprised, I have to say.
Yeah, it's like they tried, though, to, I feel like, at least be better this year by getting Carroll, by trading for Geno Smith, by drafting Ashton Genty, by having Brock Bowers the second year. Like, they should have been better than what they were. And
But
it was
to
just
me,
a
is
disaster.
that Pete Carroll's fault? Or it's his first year there, or is that more of like the organization's fault? I don't know.
I think it's all of it.
Sure. Yeah.
They need to just clean slate
listen,
all
yes.
together.
100%.
Now the Browns, they fired Kevin Stefanski, which I did have on my list as a guy that likely gets fired, but he has won Coach of the Year twice recently too. So it's like, I do think he's a solid coach, but at the same time, it is like you got to perform. I mean, you
Right.
have to have the wins, and it's been so many years now where it just keeps being the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you can't win, you're going to get fired.
Yeah, and I think, maybe for him it's a change of scenery, it's a different city, it's a different team. Somebody like Pete Carroll probably should retire, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the best thing for Cleveland. I mean, they've got Shedeur Sanders to look forward to.
You think they're going to stick with him?
I actually do.
Okay.
I really do. Yeah.
Okay.
And my dad does too. So whatever dad said, I agree. So yeah, I think they have some really good things going. Myles Garrett with his, record-breaking season, right? So I think they've got some good pieces. They need a little more.
Yeah. And maybe Stefanski is not a very good coach. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll
But
see what happens.
I mean, the Browns have been bad for many decades.
Right.
So, well, I think Stefanski will get another shot somewhere. We'll see what that happens. Atlanta moved on from Raheem Morris, even though it didn't seem to matter how he ended the season. They could have fired him many, many weeks ago because you can win out, and he still lost his job.
Right. Yeah, I think that one was another one. It didn't surprise me necessarily, but I did feel a little unfortunate of like, well, they started winning some games, but then it's like, well, why weren't you winning those same games? Well, obviously not the same, but why weren't you winning games weeks before to not put you in this position?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I'm actually proud of them because I thought they're going to stick with him because him winning at the end, but Raheem Morris isn't going to bring you anywhere. It's not going to happen. And you're right. Like, they should have been the team to make the playoffs in the NFC South with how bad that division is this year.
Yeah.
And you still couldn't do it.
Right. Yeah. Wide open over there.
Yeah. And then the biggest shocker, not so much for me, but it was it's a shock they actually did it. The Ravens fired John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And I did last episode, I said, I think the loser between the Ravens and the Steelers, that head coach could be fired.
You did call it. Congratulations.
Yeah. And now, did I actually think either team would go through with it? I didn't. But Harbaugh is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think he'll find another job in seconds? Yes. Like, he'll be a top candidate.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's okay sometimes. I think his message got stale in the locker room. Clearly, there was a lot of things that came out about Lamar this year with practice and his like focus. So maybe you need a new coach for him to get on him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be good for both sides.
Totally. I mean, like you said, he's going to find another job. No problem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options with Brian Dable being fired in the middle of the season, as well as Brian Callahan from Tennessee, right? So there's a lot of opportunity out there, especially with these guys that just got fired. So he'll definitely find a new place. And like you said, I mean, the Ravens were right there. I mean, they had that crazy game with Pittsburgh to end the season.
Insane.
And either one could have won, right? So, I mean, they're still contending, right? So it's not like you need a total rebuild and all these things, but maybe a fresh perspective would help.
And I think if the Ravens won that game and then they lost in the wild card round, he still would have got fired. We'll see if Mike Tomlin, if that's the same case, if he ends up losing. But what of these spots do you think is the best opening? So now we have the Ravens, Cardinals, Raiders, Browns, Falcons, Giants, and Titans. What's the best opening for a coach candidate?
You know, I think looking at this list, I mean, obviously Baltimore's the easiest one, right? Because again, they're already contending.
Yeah.
But I think the most optimistic is probably the Giants.
That's mine too.
Yeah. I mean, with Jackson Dart, I mean, sure, he has room to grow, but I liked what I saw out of him this season. And I think with getting Cam Scattaboo back and Malik Neighbors and all these pieces that they just couldn't be on the field this year, I think is really optimistic for that organization. So I'd say I'd lean towards Giants if I had an option.
Me too. And I think that's where Harbaugh should go.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can help out, get it. Like, they just need someone that's like solid, like the Mike Vrabel going to the Patriots. I feel like that could be Harbaugh going to the Giants, but some surprising non-fires.
Yeah.
I think yours would definitely be the Dolphins not moving on from Mike McDaniel.
Oh my gosh. Like what are they doing?
Yeah.
What are they doing in Miami?
Yeah.
Just having a good time, right? Like, I'm shocked they still haven't fired him. At this point, are they keeping him? Like, I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, I don't know what's going on in Miami.
The Buccaneers are keeping Todd Bowles. That came out. Don't love that. I don't know what it is about him that organization is like, we need to keep him. He's a defensive coach and their defense has stunk for the last 2 years.
True.
He has no emotions. He seems like the least leader of leaders of all time.
True.
I don't know what there is, but he's going to keep his job. And then Zach Taylor is going to keep his job for the Bengals.
And I chalk that up to Joe Burrow getting hurt this year and them having no defense. And the organization said, look, let's keep him another year. Let's give him one more year with Joe and see what happens. And I think that's what I chalk that up to. And they're like, hey, we've already got 12 coaches fired. Let's keep this where it's at for now and go build the team up a bit more.
He's such a bad coach. Zach Taylor's such a bad coach. They should, I think there's a lot of teams now with Harbaugh getting fired that should be like, should we move on from our coach now that we know what a great candidate is out there?
Yeah.
And I still think the Ravens made the right choice. I mean, it's like when the Eagles had to move on from Andy Reid. It was getting stale. He couldn't win a championship there. And then
Totally.
both sides worked out. I mean, the Eagles won multiple championships since Reed has left. Reed obviously is doing great with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need a new
Well,
scenery.
and this is not the same thing necessarily, but it's just like when the Lions and Rams traded quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you have just enough, but you need that one little change that will make a big impact. So a head coach, a quarterback, these really pivotal people in your organization, sometimes it's just enough to get people over the edge.
So we'll see what happens with these coaching changes. I'm very interested to see who the Ravens bring in, because that will be, I mean, they can get anyone they want. They have Lamar there. It's a good franchise that does not move on from coaches quickly.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great spot. And also one I didn't bring up, the Jets are not moving on from their head coach, Aaron Glenn. But also at the same time, it's his first year. It was miserable. And I think they would if they thought they could get any good candidate. But who in the world would go there? You move on from coach to coach to coach to coach. You have nothing there. You traded away your best pieces on defense. You have no quarterback. You're just going to get a really bad option again at head coach.
Yeah, I think there's so much rebuilding that needs to happen in New York. There, you can't add a coach to that. No,
Yeah.
I mean, and no coach, quite frankly, would want to go and start from scratch.
They would have to be desperate.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want.
Right.
All right. That's it for the NFL news. We will get into our wild card games and discussions and debates. It will be real fun. And we'll see, who's right after this week. But a lot of different opinions here. We'll get into that.
Great.
Between the 20s.
We got to start with the most stressful game of the week.
To be fair, I've never seen this towel.
Okay. For
By
those
the way,
of you not watching on YouTube,
for everyone.
I am twirling,
Flailing more
my
like
terrible towel. And
it's hysterical. They
flashes of
call
my
it a
jersey.
terrible towel because the team is terrible. Just saying. It's
I'm just
terrible.
gonna wear it like
I've literally never seen you even have that. I've known you
Well,
over 2 years.
Well, I have it, and I bring it to every game I've ever been
Yeah.
to.
Oh, I was about to say, no, you do not.
No, I bring it
meant
to the
every-
games I go to. You don't just bring it out to. I'm not gonna bring it out in the restaurants we go to watch the games
Well,
in
why?
Houston.
Because you're not a loyal fan.
Okay. Anyways, we're starting with the Texans and Steelers, which,
Ah.
by the way, the Steelers are underdogs at home. So, Vegas has faith in your Texans. 3-point favorites on the road. The Texans are.
I did not know that.
Would you like to go first? Why you think the Texans will win?
Oh no, I want you to go first. I really do.
Okay. Well, I'll go first. Then
Do you
why-
want me to? I will. If
I
you want
don't care.
me. Okay, you go. You go.
All right. We can go back and forth. So there's a lot of reason why I think the Steelers will win. I never feel confident about the Steelers. I think you've seen that a lot.
Here it
There's
comes.
certain weeks. There's certain weeks where I'm like, I know they're gonna win, right? But I am very unbiased when it comes to the Steelers. I know exactly how they work.
Mm-hmm.
And every year that they've gone to the wild card round, I feel like in the last 5 years, I'm like, they're going to get destroyed. I have no hope they're going to get destroyed. But this year, I actually think they're going to win because they're not facing Lamar Jackson. They're not facing Patrick Mahomes. They're not facing Josh Allen. These are the quarterbacks they cannot beat, right? I mean, obviously they can beat Lamar Jackson, but I'm talking about in the playoffs, these amazing quarterbacks, and just typically in the regular season too, when they face the Mahomes or the Josh Allens or these guys who are so elite, Steelers can't beat those guys. They don't have it in them to do it. But the CJ Strouds of the world, they can. And I get it. The Texans defense is amazing. But you know what Rodgers is really, really good at?
What's that?
Eliminating the pass rush because he gets it out so quick.
Sure.
And the Texans are good across all levels of the defense. I'll give them that. There's not many teams that are. But I do think that Rodgers will be smart enough to not make too many mistakes. And without making mistakes, I don't think the Texans can win.
Okay.
I'll bring up the Steelers' home Monday night record. Everyone's heard it at this point. They've won 23 straight Monday night home games. They have not lost at home on a Monday night since 1991. That was the year we were both born.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a very, very long time since they lost. And it really just comes down to getting DK Metcalf back. I think that's massive. I don't know if he'll do much against the Texans, but he does show up for the playoffs. There has been, so in the regular season, he's been pretty disappointing wide receiver overall, just throughout his career. Like
Sure.
he should be doing more. But in the playoffs, he averages 113 receiving yards per game.
Okay.
It's the most in NFL history by any player. minimum 4 games. And so he shows up, right? He's already faced D'Amico Ryan's defense in the playoffs before against the 49ers when he was with the Seahawks. He had 10 receptions, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns in that game.
Okay.
Now, the 49ers still won because their offense was so good. Brock Purdy just killed it. Brock Purdy killed it. 2022 wildcard game. They won 41-23. The 49ers did. But CJ Stroud in that offense can't put up 41 points against the Steelers on the road in the cold. They can't do it. They can't do it. No, I'll let you talk some and we'll keep getting into
Now listen. It's all about how. Okay. This game is in Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
It is cold. Who cares? I think you and your dad live to talk about weather. No one cares. Okay.
CJ Stroud.
Does he?
I'm sure.
Tell me why.
Well, I don't have
You
those
don't
stats.
have any stats because that's not a thing.
Well, it probably is. I'll have to go look it up.
Here's the thing. I'm going to have to go a little analyst on you
Mhm.
for just a second.
Mhm.
Okay. Aaron Rodgers this year, out of 17 games, sacked in 13 of those games.
Yep.
Okay. The Texans have 47 sacks as a team this season.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Get ready to watch Aaron Rodgers be on the ground with his little limpy hand and just clutching it for like a third of the game.
Okay.
Okay. That's what's going to happen. Okay. The Texans only have 2 games where their defense did not get a turnover. 2.
Yeah.
Out of 17.
Mhm.
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
And that's not just rushing the quarterback, getting fumbles. That's interceptions,
Mhm.
which then brings me to our secondary.
Mhm.
Okay. Because you want to talk about the pass rush. Fine. Aaron Rodgers can get the ball out fast. How'd that go for him in Cleveland a couple weeks ago?
Terribly.
Not very well.
Because he was so worried about
'Cause
getting
guess
sacked
what?
by Myles Garrett.
By one guy.
Yeah.
Guess what's going to happen when on one side you've got Will Anderson Jr. coming at you, and on the other side you've got Danielle Hunter. I'm just saying.
But he's not worried about a record being broken.
But he should be worried in all the ways. Okay. So back to the secondary of the Texans. Okay. 4 Texans players have 4 interceptions this year.
They do.
You've got Bullock, you've got Petrie at the safety positions, and you've got Lassiter and Stingley Jr. at the cornerback position.
Mhm.
Which, do you know why when you watch a Texans game, you never hear Stingley Jr. ever spoken? Because he's that damn good.
He is.
Okay.
He is.
Because whoever he's covering does not touch the ball. So guess what, DK Metcalf? Good luck keeping up your average in the playoffs. Not going to happen. Okay. So even if Aaron Rodgers is able to get the ball out quick,
Mhm.
good for him.
Mhm.
He better make one hell of a pass because the Houston Texans will intercept the ball.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say something bold and then I'm going to say 2 more things and then I'm done. Okay.
Okay.
The Steelers
Uh-huh.
are the worst team in the AFC playoffs this year. I feel that wholeheartedly.
I think that's fair enough. It's between the Texans or the Steelers.
The Steelers are the worst team in the AFC playoffs, period.
It's between the Texans, Steelers, and Chargers.
Now, listen, everybody loves to say, oh, the Texans defense is so good, but their offense is so bad. They have no run game. You ready?
Mhm.
You ready?
Mhm.
Houston wins. Most points scored. They're ranked 13th.
Mhm.
Guess where Pittsburgh is ranked?
16th.
15th.
15th.
Rushing yards, which we have no rushing game. Ready?
Mhm.
22nd. Not good. Guess where the Steelers are in rushing?
Where?
26.
Okay.
Worse. If anybody's keeping score, Pat. Okay. Lastly, passing yards. CJ Stroud. He's no Josh Allen. He's no Patrick Mahomes. 14th in passing yards. Guess where Pittsburgh is?
Probably in the 20s.
22nd. Okay. So talk about offense all you want and how bad we are. Oh, that's 3 categories we just beat you in. Now,
you
Pittsburgh.
You did all points per game though, and you should have just done offensive points per game. But that you still might be beating the Steelers too, because
This
they
is
got
not my day job.
They
I'm
got
just
a lot of
telling you.
defensive touchdowns. I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I'm pointing out our offense is good when everybody says it's so bad. No, it's actually pretty average.
It's
And-
average. Yeah.
And in all these ways, better than the Steelers.
The Steelers,
okay?
the average quarterback.
Do you know where Pittsburgh does win? In turning the ball over. Okay. And to be fair, both teams don't do it a lot. Both teams are pretty good with the football. However, Pittsburgh, 5th fewest turnovers. Houston, 2nd, only behind the Bears. Fumbles lost. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You all are good. You only had 6 all season long.
Let me guess, all of them were Warren.
Good for you, probably. Well, no, I'm sure Aaron dropped a few.
Yeah.
So only 6. Great for you. Where do you think Houston ranks in fumbles lost?
Probably first, was the way you're saying it.
We're first in having only 3 fumbles lost all season long. I don't know why you feel so confident about a team that is literally ranked worse than Houston in both offensively and defensively is going to win this game.
I get it.
Crazy.
I get it. But especially with the run game. I know, like you're saying, the Texans have averaged more rushing yards than the Steelers this year. Okay.
Yes.
But recently, I do feel like they've been giving the ball to Kenneth Gainwell more, and he is great. You have to agree. Kenneth Gainwell would be the best running back on the Texans. Or
because we literally have nobody. Sure,
so
yeah.
If you're going to go into this game, would you actually be shocked if the Steelers outrushed the Texans? I think Warren and Kenneth Gainwell right now, maybe not the full season, but they've gotten it together where it's both of those guys are much better than Woody Marks and Nick Chubb right now.
And that's fine. Individuals can be better than individuals, but this is not an individual sport. Yeah. This is a team sport. And for that reason, there is no way the Texans don't score a couple and then do exactly what they did last week, which is just coast, or I'm sorry, against the Chargers, which is they went up 2 scores and they let the defense ride.
Maybe.
And that's what it's going to take the Texans all the way.
I think this will be Stroud's first game ever playing in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's not an easy place to play.
Okay.
It can be very windy on that river.
Totally.
And it can be loud. I mean, it's going to be loud and gross, and it's a hard place to play.
So windy.
And quarterbacks in their first ever career game in Pittsburgh, they have a 21-55 record in their first career road game at the Steelers in the Mike Tomlin era.
And who did they just let win there in? Oh, I guess it was in Cleveland.
Yeah, it was in Cleveland.
My bad.
Very different.
Okay.
And again, those are trap games, divisional games. There's a difference.
Okay.
It's not going to be a trap game. They're losing. All right. But
okay.
We got to move on. We got to move on.
I don't know how we're going to watch this game together.
I don't know how we're going to.
I don't think we are.
All right. All right. We're moving on. Clearly, you're taking the Texans. I'm taking the Steelers.
Obviously.
Moving on to, I think, might be the most exciting offensive game of the weekend. Bills versus the Jaguars.
Yeah.
The Bills are 1.5-point favorites on the road. And you're taking the Jags. I'm going to take the Bills. And I honestly, like, while we go through this, it could, like, so many of these games are a coin flip to me.
Yeah.
It's like
they're great matchups.
Great matchups. I mean, it's so hard to figure out and predict who's going to win. My thing with this game, I'll just start here and we can start talking about it. I'm going to trust Josh Allen and how much experience he has in the playoffs recently.
Sure.
He's clearly the best quarterback in the AFC left in these playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't see him losing a wild card game, even though it's on the road. And yeah, he's 0-4 on the road in his career in the playoffs. But guess what? Every single one of those 4 games where it's in Kansas City.
Random.
Yeah. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes owns Josh Allen in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the case. But I don't think it's fair to just say Josh Allen can't win on the road in the playoffs against anybody. Right.
Right.
So I think it's fair to say that not in Kansas City that he can put up a big game. And it's never been his fault that he lost. I mean, this dude averages 111 yards per game in the playoffs. It's the most in NFL history. And in the games that he's lost on the road, he has scored pretty much exactly the same. So the Bills averaged 27.6 points at home. They average 27-point games on the road. The offensive yards per game, actually way more on the road, 355 to 291. The touchdowns, Josh Allen is still amazing. The difference is the defense allows 33 points per game on the road in the playoffs, while only 19.8 on the road. So maybe that's a case. Maybe this Bills defense fouls them again, but they're still the number 1 pass defense this year. Number 1. No team has allowed fewer passing yards per game than the Bills this year. They stink at stopping the run. But maybe that's just a scheme. They say, let's stop the pass. And if that means we're allowing running yards, fine, because this is a passing league. And unless you can pass, you're probably not going to get very far. So maybe they change up the scheme or whatever, but Josh Allen is too good. And I know Trevor Lawrence has been on it, but I just don't believe that the Jaguars will be able to keep up with Allen in this offense.
Well, and I think I would believe that last year, the year before. This year, though, what I've seen from the Bills is they cannot go somewhere else and play and be the same Bills that you are ranting and raving about.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going into Jacksonville, who, I mean, is on fire. There is no hole in their game right now. And I think that's going to be really hard for Josh Allen. Now, will he have a stellar game? Will he be really wonderful? Probably, because he's Josh Allen. But I don't think the Bills team, like as a whole, is going to be able to come into Jacksonville and upset. I don't think Josh Allen can, again, carry this team. I mean, he did it several times this year. He carried this team to wins.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it speaks very heavily that they're not the division winner, that they have to go on the road because of the fragility of their team currently. The Jags, I mean, I think their game plan is stop James Cook. Because here's the thing. Josh Allen, they don't really have a great passing game. They're going to throw it to the middle of the field to Dalton Kincaid and to Knox. That's what they're going to do. So as long as you limit Cook, you know who you're defending in the field, right? So, I mean, I just think there is no way that ETN does not come out and have a pretty good game. I mean, he's been decent all year, right? He didn't have like any crazy games or crazy numbers. Well, I think he did have a game where he had like 3 or 4 touchdowns, but nonetheless, I think like for the longevity of this game and this team, I mean, the Jags are so well rounded, and I can't think of a part of their game that I'm like, oh, that's going to be a struggle for them. So I'm taking the Jags here.
I do think a lot of the playoffs come down to experience with coaches, with quarterbacks. And now Trevor Lawrence has won a playoff game. He came back in that miserable game he had against the Chargers. He had 4 interceptions in the first half. They were down like 31-0 or something, came back. It was something crazy. It was wild.
Is that the one where he did the touchdown in the corner of the end zone?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But so he has that experience. But at the same time, Sean McDermott and the Bills team overall, I mean, they have so much playoff
Yeah, but
experience.
how many times can you do that for your team? I mean, we saw it this year with Baker Mayfield. I mean, he carried his team win after win after win, and then they imploded.
Yeah.
Because he imploded.
I just think the Bills have this handled. I think they're going to do it. I think you hit it on the head here, where the big issue they could run into is that they don't have enough weapons on offense, right? The Bills.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to lean on Kincaid, Knox, maybe Khalil Shakir. They just don't have a lot. My one bold take here. We are at the end of today's episode. We're going to give our MVP of the wild card round. And this is not it, because this would be crazy. I think Gabe Davis, big play, playoff Davis, could come down with a big touchdown or 2 would be the difference here. Now, it's kind of a revenge game for him because the Jaguars signed him to a big contract after leaving the Bills. And he was a disaster there and they cut him and stuff. Like, I don't really know if it's a revenge game. Maybe you want to say, thank you for paying me for no reason. But he could have that revenge aspect. And Gabe Davis, the last time we saw him in the playoffs with the Bills, was amazing. So I think we could see Gabe Davis here making some big plays because the Jaguars do have an amazing run defense. I still think James Cook could do his thing, but they can be beat on the outside. So Gabe Davis, 1 or 2 long touchdowns, book it.
Okay.
Put the bet on his over for receiving yards.
That is bold.
Yeah. All right, we're moving on to the next one again. One we differ, but this is the one I feel the least good about.
Okay.
I'll say that right now.
Yeah.
Chargers versus the Patriots. I have no idea.
There's just so much unknown, which sounds funny because we've seen 17 weeks of these people play, but that doesn't make me feel better about my choice.
Now you're going Patriots, which
am.
It does make sense. I do think overall they should win. I just have this feeling they're not going to. So I'm going with the Chargers. Now, the Chargers disappoint more than anybody in life every season. And they are 3.5 point underdogs going into this game. I do think a big part of this is if Omarion Hampton, the running back, can play. He did not practice on Wednesday. Keep an eye on that. That would be a big loss because I do think the one difference maker here could be the running game. The Patriots have been giving up so many rushing yards lately. not counting week 18 because the Dolphins who they played sat Devon Achane. So I
Mhm.
don't think it's fair to count that.
Right.
But weeks 10 through 17, they allowed 141 rushing yards per game, over 5 yards per carry, and 8 rushing touchdowns in those 7 games.
Wow.
So their run defense has been pretty bad. Now, Kamani Vidal can do his thing. He's fine. But I think if Hampton can be healthy, that will be huge. They also allowed Justin Herbert, to sit in week 18.
Mhm.
Can he get his cast off? Is it a little bit better now that he got to rest? That will be huge. Cameron Dicker has been one of the best kickers. I didn't even try to do that. Cameron Dicker kicker, whatever.
I think
In the
everyone
league,
knows that those.
yeah. He has a 93.5% field goal made kicks this year. It's the highest in the league, right? I do think this game could come down to kicks. Both of these teams are so confusing.
Mhm.
And with the Patriots facing literally nobody this
Sure.
year, they have 1 win against a winning team this year. Do you know who else only has 1 win against a winning team this year?
The Jaguars.
The Raiders.
Oh.
The Patriots and the Raiders have the same amount of wins against
Wow.
winning teams this
Okay.
year.
Yes.
And the Raiders are the number 1 overall pick this year. Or
Yeah.
will have the number 1
Well,
overall pick in the draft next year.
Yeah, I think though for me, this game it really does come down to Justin Herbert. Is he going to be the Justin Herbert of old that gets into the playoffs and then just like is disheveled? Or is he going to play? I mean, he did much better this year, even though his offensive line guys got hurt. Like he still did a very good job of getting the ball out where it needed to be, limiting turnovers, that kind of thing. But it's how is he going to come out and play, right? You've got Drake May, who has had a really great year, MVP candidate, but like you said, against who?
Yeah.
Right? So this is definitely his biggest challenge going into this game. The thing that he'll need to do heavily, and I think he's done it a lot this season, especially as of late, is rely on those running backs. They are your security blanket. They are there to get you that third down conversion and get you a new set of downs, right? Henderson, Stevenson, they've been playing amazing. So that's going to be their biggest weapon, obviously. So it's, can the Chargers limit that? And like you said, if Justin Herbert comes out and plays like we know he can, then they do have a real shot. I mean, this pick is very much in the air. The other thing I will say, ironically, is, I mean, Chargers are traveling across the country, right? So does that matter? Does it matter that they're going to be in the cold, right? We'll see.
That's fair. I think Drake May is so young. This will be his first playoff game. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him, and this pass defense is no joke. The Chargers rank first in pass touchdown interception ratio, first in passer rating allowed. They are dominant in that area, 5th in completion percentage allowed, and 5th in passing yards per game allowed. So this is going to be a tough game for Drake May in his first game. There's going to be a lot of nerves, and that's why I'm going with the Chargers, but I'm not at all going to be shocked if the Patriots win.
Sure.
Now, I don't like you for this next one. I don't like, why do you have to hate me and my teams?
Listen, I unfortunately had to make this pick.
Well, I'm talking about the 49ers Eagles here. And the 49ers are 4.5-point underdogs in this game. I think that's just rude. I think that's rude.
Listen,
Get it? It's on the road in Philly. It's never going to be easy.
Listen, you didn't want this matchup. And
I didn't.
That's what that tells me, right? Like the Eagles defense is playing too well against a busted up 49ers defense. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. I think each team has their superstars. They have their guys, right? But it's which team can execute at a time like this in the season. And yes, I'm very proud. I'm sad to make this pick. I really am, because I've loved watching the 49ers just get in there, beat what they need to beat to win games, right? Bethune being out now is it's just another like dagger to 49ers fans.
I do think Eric Kendricks is a better linebacker than Bethune, and he'll finally get to play.
Sure. But like what I saw in week 18 of the 49ers against the Seahawks, I mean, sure, the Seahawks defense, I mean, they stifled the 49ers. They had like 53, 54 yards rushing.
But isn't there a little bit of optimism that the 49ers held the Seahawks to only 13 points?
Yes, I'm not not giving them credit for that. But I think you and I would agree that probably has a lot more to do with Sam Darnold than anything else. And I think the Seahawks were in a position where they were like, if we can just limit them to this one field goal they made, we're good to go. The problem, I mean, here, I think the Eagles, if they're smart, they run the ball until the cows come home. I mean, Saquon has to have over 100 yards rushing. They need to run. I mean, they just have to beat down the defensive line, and I think they shouldn't have a problem winning this game, unfortunately.
Yeah, it'll come down to how good can Saquon Barkley be, right? Because the 49ers were decent enough at stopping the run for a while there. The Seahawks, though, they could not stop them. Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker did whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
That will come down to it. The Eagles have averaged the second fewest passing yards per game among all 2025 playoff teams. Besides, they're only behind the Panthers, right? So that's where the 49ers really struggle, is in coverage. So if they can't get the ball rolling, the Eagles have also punted after 3 plays on a league high 28% of their offensive drives this year. Like, that's not just among playoff teams. It's just the worst in the league. So, I mean, there's a lot of things here where in points per game, total yards per game, passing yards per game, and 3 in punt percentage, they rank bottom 3 among all 2025 playoff teams this year.
Yeah.
So I don't really trust their offense all that much. They are 2-3 versus opponents that have a 600 plus record this year, like the teams that are actually in the playoffs. 9-3 in teams that were bad. So do I feel confident going into this game? No.
Sure.
But Kyle Shanahan doesn't lose until the NFC Championship. Every year they make it.
Which is great, which I would love to see. You're going
7 straight seasons in the playoffs. They've made the NFC Championship.
It's impressive. I'm not saying it isn't. It's just you're going into Philadelphia, who just won the championship last year, to, yes, an Eagles team that on offense, you're kind of like, why are you having such trouble? But again, I do think it's going to come down to the 49ers just don't have enough on defense. I think both rushing and passing to win this game.
Let me give you one narrative-based thing before we move on to the next game.
Okay.
So the 49ers 2022 season, they're rolling. They get to the NFC Championship. They have to go to Philadelphia and play them, right? First drive, Brock Purdy tears his UCL in his right arm. He's already the 3rd quarterback this year. This is his rookie season. They already lost Trey Lance for the season. They already lost Jimmy Garoppolo for the season. Brock Purdy came in week 12 or 13, and he was fantastic. Nobody expected that. Then, Josh Johnson from this year with your Commanders.
I do.
He had to come into this game after Brock Purdy got hurt in the first drive, but Josh Johnson suffers a concussion early in the 3rd quarter. They don't have another quarterback on the team. So Brock Purdy had to come back into that game for the rest of the game and not throw because he couldn't.
Right.
So they could not throw the whole second half.
Right.
They had, I think, like 4 passing attempts after Brock Purdy got hurt, and it was just from random things. So the 49ers ended up getting murdered. Obviously, they didn't have a quarterback. 31-7. Do you know why they allow emergency quarterbacks now? Because of this game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So I think there's going to be a lot of revenge here where the 49ers felt like if they were healthy in that game, they could have made the Super Bowl that year and beat them. So there's a lot of players on this team who remember that game, and there's going to be a lot of desire to beat them.
Listen, I would love to be wrong about this pick.
Yeah, I would love you to be wrong.
I would.
Okay, let's move on to the next game. The Packers and the Bears. For some reason, I cannot get excited for this game. People are, I don't know.
That's because you hate the Packers. We all know.
And I think the Packers are going to win. So maybe that's why I hate it. So I'm picking the Packers to win. You're picking the Bears.
I am.
The Packers are going to win this game.
I don't know why you think that.
Because they're up by 10 points in both of the games they played this year. And they beat them in the one. And the other one, they had to have a wild comeback. The Bears have had to make too many wild comebacks this year. And that just is not going to keep up. And the last 2 games, they were trying to win these last 2 games. They got beat by the 49ers. They got beat by the Lions. Yeah, the Packers obviously were also trying to win. 3 really tough games. Broncos, Bears were there up by 10. And they allowed the comeback. And then the Ravens. And then the Vikings where they didn't start anybody. I just, the Packers have always been the big brother to the Bears. And I think in this first year with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams in his first playoff game, they're not going to take down their biggest enemy. It's too much.
Yeah, and I feel differently. I feel like it's a change in the wind, if you will, and the momentum is shifting to the Bears. I mean, you said it yourself. You think the Packers are overrated
Well, yeah,
and
they are.
have all season long.
Mhm.
They're getting Jordan Love back after what 3 or 4 weeks out with the concussion. Is he gonna be okay? Is he gonna look okay? Is he gonna be a little rusty from not playing? Right? They are getting Josh Jacobs back. So really and truly, all you have to do in this game is limit Josh Jacobs, because how Josh Jacobs goes is how the Packers go. We know Micah Parsons is hurt, so their pass rush is not as scary for sure. And I think Ben Johnson knows what he's getting out of the Packers, and I think he'll have a good enough game plan to go play this game at home. I think that's huge in this matchup, to play at home. And honestly, I just don't think Jordan Love is gonna get it done. So, there's just too many unknowns for me about the Packers to pick them for this.
I think that's how I feel about the Bears, right? Their defense is pretty bad. And Caleb Williams, he has big plays, but he's still ranked last in the league this year in completion percentage. He is the last 4 quarterbacks to play in a playoff game after ranking last in completion percentage. Josh Allen in 2019, he did used to be bad. Lost in the wild card round. John Elway back in 1983 lost in the wild card round. The only guy who won the game was Tim Tebow against my Steelers. Most embarrassing playoff loss of my life. And it was a last second throw. I think it was overtime, and it was ridiculous. Demaryius Thomas, rest in peace. But that was an insane game. The thing is, his accuracy is bad, right? And there's a reason they always have to come back, because they're not scoring points in the middle of the game.
But you know what they don't do? Turn over the ball.
They do not.
They have the least amount of turnovers.
And if Jordan Love wants to have a Jordan Love game where he turns the ball over a ton, sure, the Bears can win. But if both teams are pretty good at not turning over the ball, I think the Packers get this, because you can't just keep winning at the last second. It doesn't work. The Bears are the 5th team in the last 10 seasons to make the playoffs, in a season with over half of their wins coming with a 4th quarter comeback. All of those previous 4 teams lost in their first playoff game, because you just can't keep getting lucky like that.
Sure.
So that's why I'm going with the Packers. Also, I trust Matt LaFleur and his experience. A lot of this has to do with experience for me, more than Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams in their first, head coaching quarterback gig.
I do think this will be a really great game. I don't know why you're not excited about it.
It should be a good game. It's just, I don't want to root for the Packers to win. I'm going to be rooting for the Bears.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's going to happen. So that's why I think I'm not going to like it.
Yeah. And I do think they could win.
Worst game of the week by far, Rams Panthers. And Vegas agrees. 10.5 point favorite.
Oh no.
That's wild.
That's so sad.
I'm not telling anyone to take that. I'm just staying away from it completely, because taking 10.5 points versus a playoff team is
at home
crazy. Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. The Panthers are home. Yeah. Crazy. We're both taking the Rams.
Yeah.
Really simple here. I would have more optimism that the Panthers could upset a team, right, in this playoffs, if it wasn't for the Rams, that they just upset them a month ago.
Right.
So I think that there's trap games in the NFL every week, and you can have those in the playoffs. And I think that's exactly what it was in week 13 when the Rams went to Carolina. They were on a 6-game winning streak. They're feeling hot. They were like, we are unstoppable. Matthew Stafford was on a heater, right? And that's when you fall in the trap games. You're like, the Panthers, we got this. And they lost. Yeah. Stafford had 3 giveaways in that game, and they still only lost by 3 points. I mean, it was still a very close game. Trap games don't happen twice. Now they're going to be ready for the Panthers. Now, like, they beat us this last time, right? Like, they're going to be ready. There is no trap game to be had. They're going to be ready for them. They just lost. And I really think that's what it comes down to, because that's what you need this game to be. You need the team that you're playing to not consider you a real threat. Yeah. They can't do that when they just lost to you.
Totally. Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is probably the game that not anybody but Carolina fans is excited about. The Panthers are 8-9. Who host the 12-5 Rams. I just think that's the funniest bananas thing about the NFL is, like, somebody's 12-5 and they have to be on the road. This is bananas. But the Rams, I mean, they're just so good. And I know they've had a few games recently that we were like, why'd they lose that? Or why did Matthew Stafford throw the ball there to get intercepted to do something dumb? Right. Like, but everybody has that. That's just part of it. The Rams offense is number 1. I think Carolina's is like 20 something. I mean, it's
They're
just
the worst offense in the playoffs.
Bryce Young had 6 games where he didn't even pass 150 yards.
So his passer rating this year is 87.8. That's the best in his career. That's still a far below average quarterback. Like,
It's not great.
his 23 passing touchdowns, first year in his career with over 20. Like, 23 passing touchdowns is nothing to be excited about. Like, all of his stats, people are like, well, this is the best of his career. They're still really bad.
Mhm.
A 63 completion percentage, 188 passing yards per game. Like, these are all stats of a bad quarterback. So yeah, it can't happen. When you compare the Rams and Panthers team this year, you have you already brought up the record, lopsided. The Rams have a plus 172 point differential. The Panthers have a minus 69. The Rams have a plus 1,141 total yard differential. The Panthers have minus 538. The turnover differential plus 11 for the Rams, minus 2 for the Panthers. I mean, these two teams could not be more lopsided. And yes, we see all the time underdogs beat the better teams, but not when it just happened. And I think that's very unfortunate for the Panthers to have to face the Rams.
Yeah, it really is, because it's an easy cakewalk game for the Rams.
It really is. All right, that is it for our game picks.
Well, I do have one question for you
Okay.
before we switch over to our 2-minute warning.
Okay.
And the question I have for you is, which will hurt you more?
Mhm.
Okay. Leaving fantasy playoffs round 1,
Yeah.
or
You didn't have to-
both of your favorite teams leaving the playoffs in round 1.
if both the Steelers and 49ers are out in round 1, I'm going to cry for sure.
You could use your towel to wipe your
Yeah,
tears.
I'm going
You
to
want.
have to. Obviously, that will be way worse. I thought you were going to ask me what would hurt more, the Steelers losing and the 49ers.
Oh, I wouldn't do that to you, because I know your dad is watching.
It would be the Steelers. I will be more sad if the Steelers lose, only because I really, like, if they were facing the Bills this week, I'd be like, they're going to lose, so whatever. But I really think they're going to win this week, so that will hurt me more.
Okay.
Okay.
Can't wait.
All right, we still have the 2-minute warning where we're going to give you our wild card weekend MVP, one player each who we think will be the reason why their team wins this weekend.
2-minute warning.
All right, to close up today's show, we're going to go through our pick each of our wild card weekend MVP. Nycole, who do you got?
Okay, I'm going to pick a shocking one to you.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm going Kenneth Gainwell.
Okay, even though you're not picking the Steelers to win.
No, I don't think they'll win. But
Okay.
if they do,
Okay.
he will be the reason why.
Okay.
I know Jaylen Warren has been playing much better. Well, I shouldn't say much better, but he hasn't had a fumble. Every time, I want everybody to know, every time this man touches the ball, she screams, hold on to it, or
Okay,
don't
he
fumble.
might not have a
don't-"
fumble loss. He's had to have the fumble this year.
No. I'm saying in the last few games, he
Okay.
hasn't had a fumble. But every time, it's like, hold on to it, hold on to it.
All he does is fumble.
Well, clearly not. I haven't seen him fumble in a while. But anyway,
You're
I
jinxing
think-
it now. He's going to fumble this weekend.
I think Kenneth Gainwell could be the difference in the Texans and Steelers game. I really do. Because Aaron Rodgers, I'm not worried about him at all. I'm not even worried about DK Metcalf or MVS, honestly. It's
No one should be worried about MVS.
oh my God, ever. But I think it comes down to the holes that sometimes we allow in the run game. And that's my biggest concern.
Okay. So you think he can be MVP. So if the Steelers
Totally.
win, he would be the MVP.
Yes.
So I went with a team that I'm picking to win. Now, the very obvious one would have been Josh Allen. That's boring, right? But I think if the Bills win that game, he would be the MVP of the weekend. I fully expect him to put up 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, all the good stuff. But that's lame. I'm going to go with someone I really don't like, and it's Jordan Love. I think he'll be the MVP of this week. I think he'll have a great wild card game like he did last year. The Bears defense is very, very weak. I think he can beat up on them this week. And everyone's going to be so pumped. Look at Jordan Love. Oh my God, he's so good. And he's going to fail miserably in the divisional round no matter who they face. That's my guess here. Jordan Love has an insane wild card weekend. Fails miserably in the divisional round. But so I think Jordan Love, wild card weekend MVP.
Okay.
So I gave him
can
love
see
while
that.
hating on him at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what I had to do.
That's what if you had to give him love, you want to give him hate. as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. So that's it for today's episode. If I'm happy that you sat here and watched us debate that whole time, if you have any, if you side with one of us, let us know in the comments. hopefully you side with me and not her. If you side with her, you could just not comment. That's fine. Stay away. No, but for real, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. That's all very, very helpful. We will be back next week if we survive this Monday night game. Let's go Steelers. Let's go 49ers. Boo the Texans. Bye, y'all.
Texans. Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Analyst in the Armchair. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on socials, leave us a review, and comment to let us know what you'd like to hear next time.